is Monday. It is May 11th, and today we're moving on to Unit 8, Activity 4, which is collecting data and constructing a line plot. And today's objective, students will be able to collect data and arrange it in a line plot, and you'll soon be introduced to what a line plot is. And your DOL today is an online line plot where you'll have to look at a table and create your own line plot. Teacher Model 1. Create a line plot with the following data for the heights of different tomato plants. Okay, so I'm looking at the chart and I see plant, and they're organized by letters A to L. And then we have the height in feet of each plant. So I see plant A is 7/8 feet, plant B is 4/8, plant C is 2/8, and so on. A line plot is a way that we can organize numeric data, such as measurements. It allows us to see the different measurements we have and how many plants share the same measurement. So for example, plant D is 5/8, but plant I is also 5/8, and so is plant K. In order to construct a line plot, we must first think about the data we have been given. This data includes eighths, and I knew that by looking at my denominator. So we must organize it in increments of 1/8. So we'll start with our first mark, which will be 0, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. It's not perfect, but I'm getting really close. 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and 8/8. Okay, and now I need to make sure I label my marks so I know exactly where my measurements will go. So 0, 1/8, oops. Let's leave that. 2/8. And just have patience because you'll have to create your own line plot for your independent work. Copy. 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and finally 8/8. And sorry for the different sizes, I'm just trying to save time for the video. Okay, so I labeled all of my markings, and the reason again why I split them up into eighths is because you look at this table at the top, every single measurement's denominator is eighths. So I went from 0, which every line plot will begin with, and you'll go to the very last number, which equals 1. 8/8 is 1. Okay, now we can organize the data. In order to represent each measurement, we record an X above the value on the line plot. The first plant A measured 7/8 feet. So I will record an X above the 7/8 on the line plot. So I have my X, I'm putting it right above the 7/8, just like that. I will continue this way until I've represented all 12 measurements from the line plot. So just to double check my work, I can cross out that I did 7/8, and I'll actually just draw out my X's. B is 4/8 feet. C is 2/8 feet. D is 5/8 feet. Oh, that was a bad X. E is also 5/8 feet. F is 2/8. So you just stack them up. Plant G is 7/8 feet. Plant H is 2/8 feet. plant I is 5/8 feet. Plant J is 6/8 feet. Plant K is 5/8 feet. And plant L is 6/8. Okay, finally I need to include a title for this line plot so that anyone reading it knows the information that I'm representing. The line plot is for the heights of different tomato plants that we were measured in feet. So I can title the line plot Heights of Tomato Plants. Heights of tomato plants, and I'm just going to note that this is all in feet. I'm going to fix that because that's the title. We need a title so people know exactly what we measured. Now I'm going to confirm that I have plotted 12 pieces of data. So I'm just counting the X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Great. I have 12 X's. I did not leave any out. From this, we can see the most plants measured 5/8 feet because they have the most X's above it. We can also see what the tallest plant was and the shortest plant. The line plot allows us to quickly review and interpret the data set that we were given. So right away I can tell my tallest plant measured 7/8 feet and our shortest measured at 2/8 feet. Just because we have 0 and 1/8 doesn't mean any of the plants must measure those lengths. We have 2/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, and 7/8. And remember, not every line plot will be using eighths. These could have been measured in fifths, sixths, tenths, twelfths, halves, but this one in particular was eighths. So I just divided my line plot into eighths. Now an NJSLA question before you go on your own. The line plot represents the heights in feet of tomato plants in a garden. So just like we did before, tomato plant heights. What is the difference in feet between the tallest and shortest plant heights? So our tallest is 7/8. Remember, it's not 8/8 because there are no X's above it, which means no plants measured 8/8 feet. And our shortest plant is 2/8 feet. So we have to do 7/8 minus 2/8. And they share the same denominator, so that stays the same. We know that as fourth graders. And 7 minus 2, easy peasy, 5/8. So I see that option C would be 5/8. Now your independent work online is your online line plot. It's a little different because it's actually a PowerPoint, so you're typing on it. I made a copy for everyone. You just have to type on the slide. Okay, I hope everyone has a great Monday.